Okay, Lisanji. What you can do instead of well, I can't. I mean, I can see people typing. I don't know who it is because it doesn't give me your names. It says anonymous jackalope, anonymous camel, anonymous badger, etc. So, Lisanji, what you can do is, I guess you can copy paste your peers' answers into the group chat here. I'm gonna try something. Give me 1 second. I hope this works. Okay, so it doesn't let me post everything that I copied because apparently there's a text limit to each comment. Pero entonces Lisanji and Jeliani, I don't know if you were able to access the Google Doc, but you could just go into the chat right here and copy it, paste it here, post your answers, and then, send that. Okay, Jeliani, good. So the last one en este de esto fue Guillermo. Eso sería de Angelo para abajo. And then the last thing it says, I've met Hannah. What's that? Okay, this one I'll cut that out. Then you can just and okay, so whoever can't access the Google Doc can just take your pick from here and copy them all. Remember, there's 1, 2, 3 comments. It's a lot of assumptions there. Nice. All right. El de Lismari está incompleto. No. I think. Okay, I'll just copy it again. Okay, I don't know what happened with Lismari's. I'm just going to paste these questions again. Maybe somebody erased it by mistake. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use Google Docs more often. Okay, so Lisanji also added her comments, and I'm gonna paste Lisanji's answers, TF. Okay. Lisanji. Of course, Alexis. Okay. I didn't answer mine because exactly. You're not supposed to answer your own. That's good. Thank you for your honesty, Sanji. En lo que ustedes siguen bregando eso, I'm gonna continue with the rest of the class because we do have limited time and this took longer than I expected. So I'm gonna go to the okay. So we can just go into the next part, the warm up. Okay. So you can keep working in the background, working on the Google Doc if you want. You can keep commenting in the chat. I will check it out soon. So we're just going to complete these sentences with time information. We have this first sentence. I am sitting at my desk right now. I have been sitting at my desk since. Can anybody turn on your microphone and just give me an answer for this first blank? I have been sitting at my desk since.
Last night.
Since last night. That means you fell asleep at the desk. Okay. And I am looking at my book. I have been looking at my book for
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Fantastic. That's dedication and also slavery. Okay. So I'm sitting at my desk right now. I have been sitting at my desk since last night. I am looking at my book. I have been looking at my book for 2 weeks. We're going to see that we wrote two different types of sentence here. I am sitting at my desk right now. This will be the present progressive. And then I have been sitting at my desk since last night. This is a new verb tense that we're going to be working with today, which is the present perfect progressive. So it combines the best of both worlds. So we do have the present perfect, but now we make it progressive, which is actually not that difficult. So we have Al and Ann. They are in their car right now. They are driving home. It is now 4 o'clock. In sentence A, it says they have been driving since 2 o'clock, and since it is now 4 o'clock, they have been driving for 2 hours. The present perfect progressive, or triple P, talks about how long an activity has been in progress before now. Time expressions with since and for are frequently used with this tense. In this one, we use they have been driving since 2 o'clock, and they have been driving for 2 hours. So really, to make a statement in the triple P, the present perfect progressive, we use the same thing that we've been using so far, which is have and has, have or has, and of course, now we add been, and now we add the main verb that ends with ing. Remember that since we are dealing with progressive right now, we do have to add ing to the main verb. We can also make questions. We can ask, how long have they been driving? And we just do the same thing, have, has, been, and the main verb with ing. We just add the subject in between have and has and been. Of course, we end the sentence with a question mark. But the subject, remember that it is now in between have and been, and it used to be here before have at the beginning of the sentence. Okay? So basically questions, they're pretty simple to make. We've been making questions for a while now, whether or not it was a part of the test, which it wasn't. But if you remember how to make a question, you can make a question in the present perfect progressive. So let's compare the present progressive versus the present perfect progressive. The only difference is this perfect in between. So the present progressive describes an activity that is in progress right now, as in sentence D here. It does not discuss duration or length of time. So in this one, it says Poe is sitting in class right now. You could change Poe to any one of your names. You could say Karim is sitting in class. We could say Josue or Derek. We could say any one of your names is sitting in class right now, and that's fine. How this works is that something began earlier in time, and we don't specify when it happened. It has been in progress ever since it began, and of course, it is still happening right now. It doesn't matter when it ends because it doesn't specify that. It's just something that already began and is currently in progress at the moment right now. Okay? So we do say Poe is sitting in class right now in the present progressive. We do not say Poe has been sitting in class right now. This is an incorrect sentence. It's not grammatical. It doesn't make sense. When we see the present perfect progressive, we may understand why. So let's continue. So in the present perfect progressive, this tense, which is the present perfect progressive, triple P, it expresses the duration of an activity that began in the past and is in progress right now. So in this one, we do specify length of time. So let's say that something began at 9 in the morning. It has been going on until 9:30. Well, let's say 9:06 because that is the time right now. And it started back then, and it's still happening right now. Okay? Poe is sitting at his desk in class. He sat down at 9 o'clock. It is now 9:30. Poe has been sitting in class since 9 o'clock. Poe has been sitting in class for 30 minutes. If you take a look at the verbs here, we use, just like the formula states, we use have or has, we use been, and then the main verb ending with ing. Versus just the regular present progressive, in which we use a be verb and the main verb with ing. Okay, we do not say, for example, Poe is sitting in class since 9 o'clock, because that would be ungrammatical, it would be incorrect. And we're adding this time information since 9 o'clock, but we're using the present progressive verb. We'll keep working with this, don't worry about it. So there is a note here. It's about non-action verbs. Basically like know, like, own, belong. Those are verbs that don't really express an action. They're just a different type of verb. These are generally not used in the progressive tenses. You can say I know Yoko, which would be simple present. You don't say I am knowing Yoko because it is ungrammatical. It may sound nice in Spanish, and it may be correct in Spanish, but in English, it is not. You can say, I have known Yoko for 2 years. You don't say, I have been knowing Yoko for 2 years. If you're thinking about Spanish, like, yo he conocido a Yoko por 2 años versus yo he estado conociendo a Yoko por 2 años, that makes sense. But in English, I have been knowing Yoko doesn't make sense. You could change it to, I have been getting to know Yoko for 2 years. That makes sense. But anyways, this whole section, it's just like a reminder. We're not going to dive into non-action verbs. So basically, this is just like a little warning. So let's continue. Let's complete these exercises so we can keep practicing. Let me just check out the chat real quick. Okay, so Liz Mari, okay. Okay, Odalis, that's okay. Gabriela. Okay, so me queda aquí con Liz Sanji. Okay, Gabriela gave us her answers. I'll check that out soon. Good morning, Professor Mike. Okay, I saw that. Guillermo could not access, so okay, I'll check it out soon. Anyways, let's check out the Google Doc. Okay, y ahorita, with the last 2 or 3 minutes of class, we can just count how many people got it right, and then bada bing, bada boom, we're done. So let's go back to the PDF. So exercise 29 just says complete the sentences, use the present progressive or the present perfect progressive form of the verbs in parentheses. So we have the verb sit, and it says, I sit in the cafeteria right now. Remember, this is right now, so this is implying time. So we can say, am sitting. Excuse me, it is not implying time, sorry. I sit here since 12 o'clock. This one is implying time. So in this case, we use the perfect progressive. So I have been sitting since 12 o'clock. Si se fijan, we have the main verb sit in both blanks, and we use sitting for both the blanks as well. The only difference is that in one, we just use the be verb, and in the other one, we use have been. Okay? So really the difference between the present progressive and the present perfect progressive is just changing this first verb, the one that happens before the main verb. So let's do this right now. You can turn on your microphones. Kate is standing at the corner. She waits for the bus. She waits for the bus for 20 minutes. Who can give me an answer for these? Kate is standing at the corner. She waits for the bus. This one doesn't specify time, so this one would be the present progressive, which is like this first one here.
So it would be, she is waiting for the bus?
She is waiting for the bus. Exactly right. And then the next one, she waits for the bus for 20 minutes. This is specifying time. So this would be in the present perfect progressive, just like the one I'm circling here with my mouse pointer.
Have been waiting.
Okay, I didn't understand whether you said have or has, so escribí ha.
Have.
Has. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay, you said have. Okay, but it is has. Remember that we use have or has according to pluralization. So en este caso, she is just one person. So entonces usamos has. Si fuera plural, like they, entonces usamos el have. So ahora mismo, number 3 is plural. So we know we're not going to use has. We're going to use the other one. So let's start with this first sentence. This first blank. Scott and Rebecca talk on the phone right now.
Are talking.
Are talking. Fantastic. On the phone right now. They talk on the phone for over an hour.
Have been talking.
Have been talking. Fantastic. Okay. Number 4. Right now we are in class. We do an exercise. We do this exercise for a couple of minutes. Remember that this one does not specify time, this first blank here. So this would be the present progressive, as is in here, here, and here. So it's just the be verb and the main verb ending with ing. And since we're working with the present, there are only 3 be verbs that we can use, which are am, is, or are, and then the main verb ending with ing.
We are doing an exercise.
Are doing. Fantastic. It looks weird. Okay. So we do this exercise for a couple of minutes. Now this one specifies time, so that means that it would be the present perfect progressive, as is here, and here, and here. Si se fijan, we were using the same thing over and over again.
Have been doing.
Doing. Fantastic. Okay. Si se fijan, it's... Okay, I got it. Thank you. Okay. Why is this not going away? Whatever. Okay. So since the first one, we have been using have been or has been. Have been. Go away. Or have been. So really, si se fijan, el been is always, always, always a part of the present perfect progressive. And the only thing that changed, and so is the main verb with ing, the only thing that may change is either have or has. Let's continue with number 5. You look busy right now. What you do? Now we're going to make a question here. Si se fijan, we're going to use the same verb that we just used in the previous sentence. So we're going to continue using that same verb. So, ya tienen un la of which verb goes here. You doesn't change. So what can we do to...
Doing.
What are you doing?
What are you...
You doing?
Fantastic, very good. So what are you doing? And person B, I work on my physics experiment. It is a difficult experiment. This one does not specify time, so this would be...
I'm working.
Am working, exactly. I'm working on my physics experiment. It is a difficult experiment. How long you work on it? Now this one, it's attempting to specify time, and it does specify time with the answer. So I started planning it last January. I work on it since then. So since this one, it will specify time, we're going to switch over to the present perfect progressive. So we're good.
Sería how long you have been working on it.
How long? How long have you been working? Recuerda que el you, como estamos en pregunta, it should have been normally at the beginning of the sentence here, but since it's question, it goes between have and been. How long have you been working on it? I started planning it last January. I work on it since then. We're going to follow this same logic over here. Have you been working? So we're going to use have and been. So basically, I have...
Been working.
Okay, fantastic. So you look busy right now. What are you doing? I am working on my physics experiment. How long have you been working on it? I started planning it last January. I have been working on it since then. Okay? So it seems like you all have a nice grasp on the differences between the present progressive and the present perfect progressive. Pronto, we're going to go a little bit deeper into this. Right now, I want to go back to this here. So those who have these letters, I want you to count how many... Look at, for example, your true assumption under your name and count how many people got it right. So I don't know if this is Karim's actual true assumption, but if this were the correct one, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If that were the case, then 12 would have gotten it correct, and that would be it. If that's not the case, then... Yeah, look for your name under your assumption.
To put the number, right?
Yeah, just put the number. So remember, There's Karim, Josue, Nayeli, Jelianis, Derek. Derek only put one sentence. Okay. Lisanji, Alexis, Guillermo, Angelo, Lismari, Jose, Genesis, Natalie, Michelle, Swanevi, Rachel, Gabriela. So far, just a cursory glance at these. Josue has 14, as does Alexis, with Lismari and Jose in a close second so far. We're still missing Rachel and Gabriela. Oh, really, Michelle? Nobody got it right? You really don't like the beach? Wow. Okay. So far, Josue and Alexis are leading. That means they're winning. Okay. I don't want to keep you much longer. I mean, it's already past our time. So if you don't have any questions, or if you don't want to continue checking out the Google document, then you can, of course, leave the meeting. I'm going to stop recording here.